So I'm Betty Mineta, the MBEIC Chair and President and CEO of Argent Associates and Associar. With me is Colin Carrell well, why don't you tell us what your title is and what is your main responsibility?
Absolutely. My name's Colin Carrell. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer, Vice President of Supply Chain for Energy Future Holdings. We have two primary operating companies, Luminant, which is a competitive power generation company, and TXU Energy, which is our retail electric sales provider. I'm responsible for strategic sourcing, procurement operations. We have about $1.1 billion in annual spend that is part of my group. And I'm also responsible for materials management and warehousing in our Luminant business with about $250 million in material and supply inventory to support our plants and mines.
Wow, that's a huge territory and a lot of things to cover.
Absolutely.
So Energy Future Holding decided to be our sponsor this year at Access 2016. First of all, thank you. Can you tell us why?
Absolutely. We've been involved with DFW Minority Supplier Development Council for about 25 years, actually probably a little bit longer than that. We've had a seat on the board for the duration of that time, and currently Heather Herndon-Wright, our Director of Supplier Diversity, serves on the board. And we're very supportive. We have an interest in being competitive, obviously, and so we believe that supporting the Minority Business Council, it's the best way to source local MBEs.
That's right, and you know what? We use a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of that buy those that buy us, right? So what kind of areas and what opportunities do you see that there can be for minority and women-owned companies here locally? Where do you see some potential opportunities?
So categorically, we're interested in inclusion across all of our spend areas. A couple of primary opportunities that we're really working on to qualify MBEs and WBEs is on the industrial side to support our plants and mines. A real good opportunity is for MSHA certified suppliers to really step up. And MSHA is the mining equivalent of OSHA. It's the Mining Safety and Health Administration. And it's very difficult we can't bring suppliers onto our mining sites without a certification by MSHA. And so to the extent that we can qualify civil contractors, engineers, others that might mobilize, yellow type rolling stock, would be a great opportunity because it's a tightly competitive space. On the professional services side, something to support TXU Energy would be something in the area of something to augment our sales force. So we actually have a team of TXU sales folks here today at the marketing pavilion that are both signing customers up to buy TXU Energy, as well as looking for partners in door-to-door and business-to-business sales. And I think that's a great opportunity for potential MBEs.
That's good because, I know that some companies have started out a program like that, and so the minute you start selling my products, it gives me an opportunity to maybe buy more stuff from you, and so it's a quid pro quo, which is a really nice thing to do, and kudos to you for that.
Buy those that buy us.
Yes, that's right. Energy Future Holding and Luminant, and you all have been really successful at your Supplier Diversity program. What do you attribute your success to?
I attribute the success we've had in Supplier Diversity to three primary things. First and foremost, it's our executive level commitment from the board and CEO down. Secondly, it's just the culture company-wide of inclusion. And thirdly, it's the sound business practices that we have. We don't award contracts on the basis of somebody having a certification as a MBE or WBE, but because they're competitive and they bring us business solutions that are better than what we otherwise see in the supply base. Yes,
and a lot of times we call it nimbleosity, being nimble with speed and the ability to support companies like yours.
Absolutely.
So that's excellent.
And just a further point on our executive level commitment, as an example, a week ago today, Heather Herndon-Wright and I sat with our board and we gave them a results readout of 2015 and a roadmap of 2015 success on how we're going to improve on the diversity initiative. And from our board chairman on down, there was 100% engagement, 100% interest, and 100% support, and that really does effectively cascade through the business.
Absolutely, got to be top down and bottom up. Yep. So congratulations, that's great. You know, I know you guys went through some difficult financial times, and you know, these are difficult times for a lot of companies, not only corporations, but small, mid-sized companies. What do you think are some of the factors that maybe minority companies can take away of how you still stayed relevant, you still did the right things for your community to create that economic inclusion, but still watching the bottom line? Right.
So we've had to reinvent ourselves at least a couple of times now over the past decade and a half. So, you know, rewinding back to 2002 when our industry deregulated, the company really had to change its mindset and become competitive. In a competitive space, we could no longer make rate cases and, you know, have kind of the safety net of, you know, end-use customers paying for whatever we did, no matter how much it costs. So we had to reinvent ourselves. We had a very successful run in the competitive arena throughout the 2000s when market conditions were favorable on the power generation side, with wholesale power prices being high. Very recently, we've become extremely challenged on that front, and you know, the low market power prices coupled with the bankruptcy of our company have really forced us to rethink again and reinvent the company again. And so we are we're redeveloping a value proposition. We are right-sizing the company for future growth. And really it's driven by the value proposition that we need to evolve to still be relevant to our customers. And so the takeaway for MBEs would be that again, don't become stagnant. You have to continue to reinvent yourself. You have to continue to foresee market conditions, and to the extent that you can stay ahead of the curve and present value propositions that evolve with the needs of your customers, you'll still be relevant and you'll be a valued partner to us.
That's great coaching, and you're spot on. It is about staying relevant and kind of looking for the next blue ocean or the next big thing, because you know, many companies have gone out of business because they didn't do that. So you guys are a major supporter of the Minority Council. How does Supplier Diversity benefit Energy Future Holding and your all three companies actually?
So I don't view companies as individual companies as competitors. I view supply chains as competitors, and so when I think about MBEs that supply us or perform services to us, you're an extension of our company, you're an extension of our supply chain, you're an extension, you're part of our cost structure. And so to the extent that we can invest in MBEs and help MBEs be more competitive, that only helps us, and that helps the value proposition that we in turn provide downstream ultimately to our customers. We're interested in development in addition to inclusion. And so to that end, we've undertaken some initiatives such as the MBE CEO Academy that we hosted. Our organizational development group and some of our business leaders put together a forum to host several of the MBE CEOs that are at the Access Expo here today. And it was really focused on hiring the best and investing in your employee base and becoming a better employer to attract talent, to retain talent, to develop talent, because your people are your assets, and to the extent that companies are more competitive in that sense, again, it benefits them, it benefits us.
And I think you guys won the best practices because of that CEO Academy, because that's a great opportunity for our MBs to learn. So last question, we have Access, and it really has creating a great platform for connection, for access to customers, access to suppliers, access to contracts. So you've been doing this for many years, always supporting us. Tell me, why do you do that? Why?
So again, we view our support of Access as an investment. Again, we want to make sure that we continue to include suppliers that we may not be familiar with. So it's a great opportunity. I've got probably 20 folks from our organization that's here today. They're looking at building new relationships and learning more about companies that we may not be as familiar with, enhancing existing relationships with companies that we do know, and then getting exposure to some of the end users in our business. So it's not just the supply chain professionals that we brought with us to the Access Forum, but it's also end use decision makers in our businesses, the users of products and services. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we have a sales team from TXU that's here in the spirit of buy those that buy us.
That's right.
They're looking to sell TXU energy to prospective customers, and again, they're looking for business opportunities on door-to-door and business-to-business.
Excellent. Well, Colin, let me tell you, it is truly a pleasure to meet you. I wish you all the very best in your new role, and I also want to thank you for serving in the Navy. I saw your background, so thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.